doesn't put a price on worker satisfaction.
Meet Dan Price, the 30-year-old CEO of little-known Seattle-based Gravity Payments, who on Monday made this startling announcement to his 120-person staff.
And we're going to have a minimum $70,000 pay rate for everyone that works here.
You heard that right. Every employee at the small credit card payments company will be scaled up to a minimum annual salary of $70,000.
Why do you call it a capitalist solution?
You know, because I actually think that this is a winning move. I think this is a competitive move. I think that this will allow us to be stronger.
How will he do it? In part, he says, by cutting his own salary down from $1 million to just 70 grand.
How did you come to this idea?
I can go a few years making a lot less and want to take care of folks, and this is a risk that's worth taking, and so I just did it.
While some have chalked it all up to a grand publicity move, Price says his motivation is deeper.
When I think about the income gap and growing inequality and the way it keeps increasing, you know, for me, that's a trend that's bad for all of us, be it rich or poor.
His critique of income disparity is just the latest in a cacophony of voices that have been sounding the alarm on the growing gap between rich and poor as it reaches unprecedented levels.
Minimum wage has not kept up with inflation, and that it hasn't been raised in a long time, and we're finally starting to see that outrage.
Today, thousands of low-wage workers took to the streets to demand $15 an hour pay.
It's really hard as a single parent to go out there and try to feed your 3 kids with $10 an hour.
32-year-old Melissa Rodriguez was among the crowd in New York City, a full-time home health care worker who makes $10 an hour and is struggling to make ends meet.
I'm working diligently, working hard, striving my best, giving the patients that I work for the best that I can, and that's all I'm asking for is $15 so that my kids can have a better place to live, so that my kids can eat.
She says she doesn't want to be on food stamps and welfare, but has no other options despite her full-time job. Even celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow have taken up the cause, trying to live on $29 a week in food to raise awareness. But critics say the wealthy don't get it. Paltrow drew criticism for picking items like kale and limes.
Income inequality is probably one of the greatest issues of our time right now. It's almost as if this has been simmering for a long time, but it's almost as if it just caught fire.
While some states have raised the minimum wage above the federal guideline of $7.25 an hour, 14 states have not.
Are you hoping to change the pay structure in the U.S.?
What I'm hoping to change is have more of an emphasis on leadership. And to me, leadership means you're actually thinking about those people that you serve, those people that you lead, and doing everything you can to make it the best situation possible for them.
Gravity Payments' Dan Price isn't the only CEO who is listening. Nick Hanaller is a proud venture capitalist and part of the 1%.
Multiple homes, a yacht, my own plane, etc.
Last year, in a powerful TED Talk, he issued a warning.
You show me a highly unequal society, and I will show you a police state or an uprising. The pitchforks will come for us if we do not address this. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
He says if we don't figure out a way to top distribute wealth in this nation, it will collapse.
The gap between the rich and poor in our country hasn't been this great probably for 100 years. And so what you end up with is a tiny minority of people getting astronomically richer, like me, but most families either staying the same or getting poorer. And what that's really creating is a death spiral of falling demand. It's both a catastrophe for the economy, but also for the democracy.
But now, the tide may be slowly turning. Last June, the city of Seattle changed the minimum wage to $15 an hour, making it the nation's highest hourly wage. Companies like Walmart, Target, Gap, and Costco have raised employee wages voluntarily. And earlier this month, McDonald's said for its company-owned stores, franchises excluded, it would raise its starting salary to $1 above the local minimum wage and give workers the ability to accrue paid time off. Back in Seattle, at Gravity Payments, the average worker made $48,000. But Dan Price felt it wasn't enough.
If you're at the poverty line, you want to work hard, you care about what you're doing, but there's always this nagging thing in the back of your head of, can I make everything work?
People across the country have taken note of his bold move.
a lot of the things people have been saying, like best boss ever and all that kind of stuff. And my statement is it's really easy to be a great boss when you have great people around you. And if I'm a great boss, it's because of them and it's because of our clients.
A pay hike for a few, which may be a game changer for many. I'm Ryan Smith for Nightline in New York.